Hey yo, it's Brian here. Today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. This is round two of 49er long form talk where I just talk about the 49ers in a long form podcast style. Well, not sure if I want to do a Spotify or Apple podcast thing, but hey, I'll keep it to YouTube right now. And if it gains even more traction, I'll definitely try to put it on those platforms eventually. Anyways, got some things to talk about, mostly about players kind of holding out, holding in. We'll talk about that. Also, Kyle Shanahan offering Bill Belichick a job with any position under him. That's interesting, but Belichick said no, obviously, because he's not on our coaching staff. It's going to be a lot to talk about. So I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. Nothing too crazy for me. Football season is starting soon. Training camp is pretty much getting the hang of it. It's just starting. I'm excited for it, and I hope you guys are as well for anything 49er talk. All right, first up, Brandon Aiyuk. Let's talk about him, the elephant in the room. We've talked about him pretty much all offseason long, and yes, he has reported to training camp, but there's a kicker. He's kind of holding in now for his contract with the 49ers. So it's good that he showed up. That's great. But he's not really practicing or anything like that. He still wants his contract, which do I blame him at all? No, I don't blame any player that wants to get paid a lot of money. But at the same time, I mean, the 49ers are looking at, is he worth being the highest paid receiver in the NFL? I'll let you guys answer that question. But right now, Brandon is currently at camp, but just not practicing because he wants a nice fat contract. Trent Williams also holding out. Don't know why. Kyle confirmed that. Maybe because of guaranteed money. Not 100% sure why. He just got a contract a year or two ago. So that's a little bit weird, but hey, I'm pretty sure he has his reasons. These players got to make their money, right? But those two guys, very notable players, one of the best receivers for the 49ers and in the NFL in general. And Trent Williams, arguably the best left tackle in the NFL, still has another good year or two left before he has to hang it up. Very important guys. Hopefully they get everything sorted out and we can play 2024 football for the 49ers because they're going to be very integral on what the 49ers do later on this year in 2024. Next up, interesting news. Bill Belichick, Kyle Shanahan offered him any coaching job within the 49ers organization. I guess minus head coach, right? I'm pretty sure that's what Bill told Kyle, hey, I'll take your job as a head coach and then just put Kyle as the offensive coordinator. That'd be very interesting there. That's what he ever said, but I'm pretty sure that didn't happen like that. Any job that Bill wanted, defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, I mean, he could have got rid of Brandon Staley or any other of the guys and just took Belichick in. But, hey, Belichick said no. He wants to enjoy the offseason, just enjoy being himself, being semi-retired, I guess you want to call it. Does he want to come back to football? Maybe. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of itch to come back, but if I'm him, I would honestly just stay retired and enjoy life. I mean, coaching for a very, very long time, 40 plus years, 20 years with the New England Patriots, previous years with Cleveland and stuff like that. I mean, he's had a very good legacy for the most part, minus the whole I can't really get the job done without Tom Brady. And after 2019, that was pretty much his downfall for the most part. But hey, his legacy is still intact for the most part, and he's still regarded as one of the great coaches in NFL history. Is he the best? I don't know, up for debate, but hey, I mean, he has all the Super Bowl wins and all of the accolades you want as a coach. You can't go wrong without that. But that would have been very interesting if Belichick did take a assistant coaching job with Kyle, but I'm pretty sure if Bill, if anything, if he wants to come back to the NFL, he would like to take a head coaching job, definitely, because he is much deserving of a head coaching opportunity somewhere in the NFL if the time calls for that, maybe in 2025. So, yeah. What do I think about Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams doing their hold-ins and holdouts? I don't know. I mean, you always want to see the players get paid, especially great players like them. But at the same time, you always want to be there for your teammates. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But, hey, I mean, if this is what they're going to think they're going to get what they want, then hey, more power to them. I'm not telling them to hold in, hold out, go play the whole year. But honestly, Brandon Aiyuk, I mean, as much as I love him, he doesn't have that much leverage with the 49ers. He's kind of forced to play no matter what, whether he gets a contract or not. The 49ers are more in the driver's seat in terms of contract negotiations for now than Brandon. It's not like Nick Bosa last year where he was completely in the driver's seat and the 49ers kind of had to cave in and give him a contract. Was it worth it? Yeah, for the most part. I think Bosa, he got the contract. He had a little bit of a downer year for the first half of the year, and then after the bye week, he really caught up and became the best defensive player that we all know and love. That worked out for him, but in Brandon's case, I don't think they're going to just pay him and cave into pressure like that. But at the same time, Brandon can't really hold out or anything like that. He doesn't want to sit down like Le'Veon Bell, where that really backfired on him. and didn't get the money, and also went to a very bad team after that. So that's something that he has to look forward to if he's going to go to that Le'Veon Bell route and not play any football. But whatever happens with the contract negotiations, I believe he will be there week 1 playing full-on football. On Monday Night Football against New York Jets, he'll be there. I think if he's not there, then I guess I'm wrong, assuming that everything goes well. Still, I mean, I think Brandon just plays the whole year no matter what. And if they're going to make some mid-season trades, I'd say, honestly, they might try to trade Debo, pay Brandon Aiyuk. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, one of them is probably going to have to go eventually. I hate to say that, but I'm hoping that they can work it out both ways, shape, and form. But Brandon, he wants a lot of money. He's asking for highest paid receiver money. Debo is getting a little bit up there in age, also being injured quite a bit for the past few years. That doesn't help his case as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's getting that time of the year where you kind of have to make your choices, make your sacrifices. The 49ers are not really no strangers to this. They had to do this a few years ago, as you all know, with Javon Kinlaw and DeForest Buckner. That's something that they have to look forward to. So, it's very interesting to see what John Lynch and company do with this whole wide receiver thing. And also they got Ricky. They drafted in the first round. They have high hopes for him. A lot of us, including myself, have high hopes for him. We're hoping that he can be a really good receiver. I mean, they drafted him in the first round, so that's pretty much saying a lot that you believe in him, that he could be a top dog for the 49er receiving core. So that should be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, overall, other than the contract disputes, I think the 49ers are very set to go for the regular season. They're going to be training camping for a while. Preseason games coming up, and then we have that big game against Aaron Rodgers at Levi Stadium. Definitely not in New York because he doesn't want to tear his Achilles in MetLife Stadium again like he did last year. So I'm looking forward to that big time. Robert Saleh, not always nice to see him. Hopefully we get a win against him. But other than that, do root for the New York Jets sometimes when they're playing. I mean, as I keep saying, we have a lot of guys that are head coaches now. D'Amico Ryans with the Texans, Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, and now Robert Saleh. A lot of coaches to root for this upcoming year. So overall, I'm feeling really confident. These are just minor setbacks. It always happens all the time. I mean, there's stuff around the league as well. CeeDee Lamb is holding out with the Dallas Cowboys. People want to get paid. People want to get their money. And I think for the most part, if you're a great player like the two guys mentioned in this video, yeah, they deserve to get paid big time. But, it has to come at a cost, and players are going to have to come and go, unfortunately, because of it. That's the beauty and the curse of salary cap. It keeps equality for the NFL teams. Doesn't make anybody be a super team, but at the same time, you have to make those tough choices if you're an executive. It's like, oh, man, who do I have to keep? Who do I have to get rid of to have a successful team? That's what you have to go with, right? So, yeah. Any other 49er news on the topic right now? That's all I got for the big ones about the team right now. I don't know. I'm just really excited. Let me see. I'm looking at some other things. Who we got? The preseason's coming up in a few weeks. We got the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, New Orleans Saints, and the Raiders. I mean, that's probably a big surprise for me. I think this is the first time we're playing the Raiders since the Jim Harbaugh era. And I think the reason we didn't have that for a while was because there was an incident with fans at that time, I think in Oakland, I believe, when there was a confrontation, I would say. I'm just going to end it right there. So that we haven't had a preseason game in a very long time, but this one would be in Las Vegas, so it should be a little bit different. But, there's always a nice Bay Area rivalry between these two teams, but with the Raiders now in Las Vegas, it might not be as prevalent as it was in Oakland, but that should be interesting to see. I was never really crazy about the 49er Raider rivalry as much as some of you guys, because you guys live in California or you're in the Bay Area. But I don't know. At my time, I'm only 28 years old, so during my big lifetime in this world, the Raiders haven't been really great in the 2010s. I mean, they've had some decent years during the Derek Carr year, but other than that, they've been pretty mediocre, I would say, ever since the Super Bowl loss against Tampa in 2002. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I've never been crazy about the Raiders and their whole rivalry. Just like the Cowboys, I'm never really crazy about this rivalry, but, it is America's team, the most popular team in the NFL, and probably in the world, I would say. They are the most valuable team in the NFL. But I never get the aura just for my generation because we always beat the Cowboys for the most part. At post those Super Bowl teams, I'm pretty sure a lot of you older folks are definitely Cowboy haters because, those big rivalries in the 90s, but I wasn't alive for those, so I don't really hate the Cowboys as much. I got to hate the Seahawks from the time with Richard Sherman and company, and I also gotta hate the Kansas City Chiefs. We all gotta hate the Kansas City Chiefs now, right? And it sucks that we have to play Swifty and them. I believe in Week 7 in San Francisco. That's always a great time to play Kansas City, right? So hopefully we can get a consolation prize and actually beat them for once. It's been a very, very long time since we've been able to beat Kansas City, both in the postseason and in the regular season as well. They're just our kryptonite right now. Wow, it just sucks right now to be so close, but Patrick Mahomes and company just ruin it for us and heartbreak us twice already in the past few years now. And if we have to meet up with them again in the Super Bowl, then I hope we can finally beat them or beat whoever. But preferably, it'd be nice to get a Chiefs win in the Super Bowl, right? But I really don't want to play Kansas City. They're a really good team. They always make something happen. I mean, they're like he's like Tom Brady, but still, I mean, there's always a debate. Will Patrick Mahomes be the GOAT of the NFL? That's going to take a while. I believe he has to win 8 Super Bowls. That's always been my stance on Mahomes being the greatest quarterback in NFL history. It would be 7, but Tom Brady beat him a few years ago in the Super Bowl, so he has to pass Tom Brady in terms of Super Bowl wins in order to be the GOAT of the NFL. Is it a tall task? Yes, but can they do it? Yeah, probably. It's doable if you're the Chiefs because Mahomes is just that good, and they constructed a really good roster. What more can you go for, right? So, yeah. Football, as I keep saying, it's coming up. Yay. San Francisco, Brock Purdy and them. I believe he's going to have another great year. Some other things to look forward to. The defense, hopefully with Nick Sorensen as the defensive coordinator, we go back to the regular defense as it was with DeMeco Ryans. Also, hope he has his little kinkles and stuff like that in terms of what he wants to add into this defense. I mean, with DeMeco and Robert, as much as it was a great cover 3 scheme, defensive backs did suffer a little bit, but I will say with under Steve Wilkes, it got a lot better, so I'm hoping we get the best of both worlds in terms of the front 7 and also defensive backfield. And those two can mesh together, and they could be unstoppable. Then we could be just as great as maybe 2013 Seattle Seahawks defense. I know it's a far-fetched thing. They had really good defensive players in the secondary, but hopefully we can have a ferocious front 7. We always do for the most part, and Travarius Ward and company can always get better as season goes by. I don't know. They always start off really slow, and then later on in the year, they just pump it up. I don't know what happens. Ambry Thomas is like this for whatever reason. He's just like really, really bad beginning of the season, and then just later on, it's like, I know how to play cornerback now, for the most part. Lenore, he's playing nickel. He's been doing an awesome job. He did a great job last year, so I'm hoping to see more growth with this defensive backfield and also the additions that we got in the draft. Very cool, very excited, very optimistic. You know, I try to be the optimistic person for the 49ers, but also you got to be a realist as well, so I don't want to be both ends of the spectrum. I don't want to be too positive. I don't want to be too negative. You can probably tell some of the 49er channels that are very both ends of the spectrum, but I want to be a positive guy, but also have to be a realist as well. But hey, for the past few years, they've been really good at football, so you can always say they have a chance of winning the Super Bowl, and they've been really close, I would say, but they haven't been able to finish the deal, and I'm hoping finally in 2024, they can finally end the quest for 6. Gosh, I know a lot of you guys always comment about quest for 6, but I mean, I just hate seeing that, really. For the past many years that I've been watching 49er football, just hearing that quest for 6, I mean, it should be quest for 10 by now, if we're being honest right now. But hey, I mean, it just wasn't meant to be right now, and I'm hoping that this year can be the year that the 49ers win the Super Bowl, have a party in San Francisco, and have a Super Bowl parade. I mean, if they do win the Super Bowl, I might just do an impromptu trip to San Francisco and join the party. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would as well, or you know, you can watch it at home and have a party in your neighborhood, right? But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Just gonna end it right here. Pretty quick 49er, I guess, mini podcast talk. To recap, you got Trent Williams holding out for whatever reason with his contract. He got paid a few years ago, but he's holding out for some reason. You also got Brandon Aiyuk. He's holding in. He's still there, but he's not really practicing or anything like that. He still wants his money. Bill Belichick was offered a job by Kyle Shanahan for whatever he wanted, besides the head coaching job, but declined big time to, I guess, enjoy life and to just get away from football in general. I don't blame him. That's not the reason that what he said, but that's what I'm thinking, is that he's coached for so long in the NFL that he just kind of wants a break and just enjoy life. I mean, you know, you kind of forget when you do a full-time job like NFL head coaching job that it takes a lot of part of your daily life that sometimes I guess you can sometimes forget about stuff outside of football, right? So yeah, I mean, there you go right there. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini 49er long form talk. I hope to do more of this definitely during the season. Since the season's coming up, prediction edge to edge, I hope to get ready to do that as well. And yeah, just enjoy training camp, seeing some progress. I don't want to go too crazy about what's going on in training camp as long as nobody gets hurt. I think that's the biggest goal. Preseason, seeing the rookie guys, seeing some new players. I believe one of the games will be on national television. I don't know if it's the Saints or the Raiders, but be definitely following that sometime when it happens. And then, yay, Monday Night Football, right? So that's it, guys. Love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope to catch you guys up in the next one, and I'll have clips of this coming out in the coming days, and you guys can enjoy it in small clips, and, if you don't have time listening to this, then hopefully that helps as well. Bye, guys. Love you guys as always. I hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Go Niners all day.